Hey, yo, what's up? This your boy MC Docsta, and you are listening to Rules of Culture presents The Way In. It's your source for all things having to do with Baton Rouge's premier beat battle champion sound, as well as your ticket to an inside look at some of your favorite local and regional artists. I'm your host, MC Docsta, and today weighing in, we have the very talented, very beautiful G.Lynn with Delta South Records. How you doing today, G.Lynn?
Hi, my love. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Pleasure to be here.
So, G.Lynn, tell us where you're from.
I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. Born and raised from there to Verdonville, Louisiana, which a lot of people don't know where that's at, but that's by Morgan City and Franklin. Little country town. City mixed with that country.
Okay, so that's on the other side of the map from New Orleans. How'd you end up out this way?
I ended up in Lafayette after Katrina. I came down because my mom was here, and I just stayed. You know, my dad had already passed. He was in New Orleans. He passed before Katrina. After he passed, there was no reason for me to be there no more, so I left and I came back here to try to continue the music this way. And so far, so good. Everything's been great.
And you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I have one sister, Bianca. I have 3 brothers, Gerald, Javon, and Jason. And I don't think there's any more. Dad, I don't know. That's it, though.
Okay, and can you just tell us a little bit about the relationship you had with your father?
That's a touchy subject. My dad was my hero, but my dad had issues, substance abuse, domestic violence towards my mother, things of that sort of nature that I experienced when I was younger. But I mean, as we got older, you know, and his life changed, you know, our relationship, you know, got better.
Was he also involved in music?
He was involved in music. My dad was one of the greatest musicians in New Orleans, Louisiana. If you are a musician between the ages of 30 and anything above that, you're in New Orleans, you know my dad. His name was Gerald Trinity. He played the quarters Thursday through Sunday night. He even played the church gigs. My dad was a very prominent musician. I miss him so much too.
And would you say that's where you got your inspiration and your drive to do music?
Not just from my dad. I think from my whole family, because the whole family was musically inclined. Whether they played an instrument or sung, or I got cousins that rap. You know, somebody knows how to do something. They're very creative. We come from a very creative family.
Yes, indeed. I know that firsthand. One of your cousins, Dominic Bourgeois, actually down B. That's my horn player for all my tracks that I do.
Very talented.
Yes, indeed. So, do you play any instruments? I heard you singing.
I don't play any instruments. I'm not even gonna lie. And I sit there and I see everybody playing the piano. I'm like, it was supposed to just rub off on me. I thought it, you know, but that's something that I might have to go take lessons for and all that stuff, but you know, it's never been an interest to me, none of the the instruments. You know, I started out in writing poetry when I was like 12 years old, and then my poetry turned into other stuff, and then I was like, hey, you know, I want to do this music stuff too. So I just started turning my poems into lyrics, and it was kind of a way for me to escape being, my mom and dad was going through the divorce at the time, and I really didn't have nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'd go in my room and I'm going to write everything down how I feel, which got me in trouble too eventually because they was looking in my diary.
They found your diary, yes indeed. Yes indeed. Just a note. Parents do that. Now, let me ask you, at what age did you decide you were going to start converting some of these poems into lyrics?
It was around, it was my elementary and junior high.
And was it R&B, or did you just start off in the hip-hop?
No, it wasn't none of that. It wasn't R&B, it wasn't hip-hop. I was just write like, okay, say I had a bad day in school today, you know, I go home, I'm like a journal. I started writing it like a journal, you know. And then I don't know exactly what age. I guess I would have to say when I started let me see. I started doing funerals. and churches, singing in the church, weddings, stuff like that.
Okay.
And I said, hey, and I started seeing how the people were reacting to me. So I was like, hey, they like this, hey, you know. So that's what really kind of got me interested in to want to keep pursuing it. Because at this time, my dad and my mom had divorced. My dad was here, my mom was here. That's how I ended up in the Verdonville area, Franklin area.
Yes, indeed. And can you give us a couple lines from some of your poems that you wrote back in the day? Some, just a few,
It's
just
so
a little.
long ago, but let me see if I can remember. I could give you 2 lines because I was young. I was like, if loving you was a river and swimming I would drown, or something like that. If loving you was such and such, it would knock out every unpleasant sound, like stuff like that. Like,
Yes, indeed.
that brought back so many memories.
Some vintage G.Lynn right there for y'all.
The throwback.
Yes, indeed. So, moving forward, you've been doing a lot of work. Now you're working with Delta Sound Records.
South Records. Yes.
Delta South Records.
My managers are the best. I started off when I came back to Lafayette from New Orleans at 2006 after Katrina. I started dealing with a cat from New Iberia. He found me on MySpace. His name was King Rice. So King Rice, he had the whole street-related ENT thing going, and I guess the only thing they was really missing was a female first lady. Now this cat is good, you know, he's not no rinky-dink rapper, so I'm like, hold up, he must have seen something in me, you know. So to make a long story short, when I came back to this area, I started working closely with him. He started putting me on a lot of shows, you know, get me a lot of studio time, and just basically helping me express myself to show other people. You know, I mean, he could have got any little girl to come from around here rapping, anybody in his hometown, but I felt special that he chose me. So shoot, man, I'm gonna tell you, it opened up a lot of doors to a lot of stuff for me. Actually, we did a show for Sugarcane Festival in New Iberia last year, and Rice just happened to be locked up at the time. But I still was going to do my show because the rest of the team was out there, and I didn't want them to feel like, you know, well, she's not here because Rice's not here. So I wanted to bond with all of them. And then eventually I found out most of them were my family members too. Yeah, so right before I was about to go on stage, it was Easter Sunday. I'll never forget this last year. I'm talking about right when I was about to go on stage. Pow, 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 pow. We started hearing gunshots. I didn't get on stage, but we ran our ass away. Some people were running to the fight. We were running away from the fight. But I ended up going in a dollar store after that, and I met my manager, E. He was working in there, and he was managing another artist at the time. Now, mind you, like the street stuff, all that, I had that down packed. I wasn't worrying about that. But as I started to mature in the business, I started to realize, hey, we got to do something else. I need management. I need lawyers. Like, because this is not a hobby for me. I want to do this for real.
Right.
So I met him, and I met him kind of in a funny style. And when I meet people in a weird way, like that you just wouldn't normally meet a person, it makes me like, it's special to me. So shit, we started chopping it up, talking about it. I'm just running from some stuff that just happened, and I run straight into him, you know. So we chopped it up, and shoot, we've been working together for damn near almost 2 years, and everything's been going great. I just had the opportunity to open for Keisha Cole and Life Jennings and Lloyd. That was special to me. It's the biggest I've really ever done. Shows, I'm no stranger to doing shows. You guys came to one of my shows.
Yes, indeed. We saw you at the Players Club. Yeah, you had the place jumping that night. Yes, indeed. So, what would you say is what would you say is the biggest show you've done? What's
that would have to be
the Keisha Cole show? And what would you say was the worst show you've done? One that was just a total disaster. If you wish you could just take it back, erase it.
It wasn't a total disaster, but it was my weakest one. I probably was like maybe 22. And I was singing. I started this duo. It was me and this chick named Garrow from New Orleans. Shout out to Garrow. I love you, mommy. Well, we were all doing Buddies in Marrero. That's a club in Marrero, and we were singing "Ain't Nobody," you know
right.
And she forgot her words on the stage, and I was like, I just had to do something like to keep going on because, you know, I was a cheerleader when I was young and they always taught us that when you mess up, you can't let nobody see it. You got to keep going. So we eventually ironed it out. Nobody too much really noticed but us, you know, but I guess that I would have to say that probably was the worst one.
Okay, so let's talk about some studio work. When you're making a track, where do you start? Do you start with a beat and try to match words to it, or do you come with some words and try to match a beat up to it?
What I do is I put all my, before I even get to the studio, because I do this every day, I get a CD full of tracks, and when I'm in my house, I listen to them when I'm not busy or when I might be cooking or something. I listen to them and I get the ideas, so that when I go to the studio and I listen to it again, the ideas are already there. It takes me to write a verse. Honestly, it takes me like 5-10 minutes. Like
that's quick work.
Preparation is key. You know what I'm saying? Like I love the studio, so when I go there, it's like I'm in a whole nother world. Like.
And what kind of beats do you like? What do you listen for in a beat? What gets your attention first?
Well, being that I am from New Orleans, I like that bounce era. I did grow up on a lot of the Texas music, so I'm with the screw too. You know, like I'm mixed. I like them both. I like hip hop beats. I don't like I guess I could really say it's not too many beats that I come across. If I don't like it, I'm not gonna mess with it. But the majority of the ones I do come across, you know, I find something to do with it. That's not difficult at all.
So if we went to your car right now and hit the play on the CD, what would be playing in your car right now?
Right now, Passion of Rice. King Rice, Passion of Rice.
Yes, indeed. Keep it in the family. Now, of all the music you've done, of everything you've written and recorded or performed, what's your most favorite song you've ever done?
Bio. It was easy for me to say that and fast for me to say that because it was a song that I wrote in 2002, and I was nowhere near the music, or didn't even think I would be at that point when I was just recording with my dad. He would get up in the morning, record me in the house and stuff. You know, we was working on a CD. I never got to complete the CD because he died, but I would have to say bio because when I think about the words, live and directly, a bio about me, like I'm giving. You don't know G.Lynn, I'm about to tell you who I am, what I'm about. And it was the last song that I recorded with my dad before he passed away. That's why I would say it's the most special to me.
And how many albums have you put out? Is this your first major one? I never put out
a real album, but this is like my 5th or 6th mixtape.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been rotating around with the mixtapes. I have a lot of special tracks that I would like to use for my albums, but they were written by my dad and made by my dad, and I just didn't want anything bad to happen to them, you know, or somebody steals them or whatever the situation. People play a lot of games, you know.
And the access granted is the most recent?
D2BD is the most recent.
Okay.
Then there's going to be access granted. Next year with the 2013, now that may be an album because I want to entitle it Not Just Another Pretty Face, you know?
Okay. Yes. All right, and last thing I'm gonna ask you, on your website, videos, you show off your tattoos a lot. You're involved in a little bit of modeling. Tell us about the modeling, and also tell us about a few of your tattoos, your favorite ones, what they mean.
As far as the modeling goes, a lot of people call me, a lot of artists call me for their flyers, their videos, to do an acting scene in their videos, because a lot of people know me. They know my work ethic. They know I'm going to get it. When I tell you I'm coming to do something, I'm going to do it. Like I said before, I don't play around with this. It's not a hobby for me. This is my life. So I guess, and that rubs off. People know when you're serious and when you're not serious about your craft. So I guess, you know, that's where my modeling comes in. I've started doing the acting, like little short films and stuff. I just done one about AIDS awareness. So I'm kind of like trying to take my music, not just the stage, but everywhere around the board. You know what I'm saying? My tattoos, I have 8 of them. Okay. I want to go get more. My mom said, you go put another, as if she can tell me what to do when I'm 30. But hey, okay. But this one here on my wrist, it's a music note, and it has "Rest in Peace, Gerald." I put that after my dad died.
Okay.
I have a few more, but they're not, all in my neck or anywhere that you can really see them, because I do believe I'm careful about that. I don't like to put things all over my body, because there's certain groups of people I have to go in front of. I have to be able to I have to conduct myself right, and you don't want to be seeing tattoos, teardrops all on your face and your neck and all that. That's just not professional.
All right, and before we let you go, you want to give any shout outs to anybody?
I want to give shout outs, but first I'm going to give, if you want to contact me or you want to know more about me, or even if you want to book me, contact Delta South Records, E. Martinez, or Jamona Anderson at 337-366-7564 or 985-331-0755. As far as the internet world goes, I am on Reverb Nation. You can get to me at reverbnation.com/G.Lynn is Glynn, first, 1ST, Lady, Lady, of Street Related, ENT. Twitter at G_Lynn, Lynn 26. YouTube.com/beautiful1982, but it's spelled BUTIFULL 1982. Yeah, you can hear my music on there and stuff. Let me see if I'm missing. I'm on Instagram. I just joined Instagram.
Okay.
I like Instagram
Everybody
too.
getting with Instagram. I gotta get on it.
Yes, get on that Instagram. And I like that I like Instagram. I'm just gonna let you check it out. But on Instagram, I'm First Lady SR, 1ST LADY SR. Shout outs. My team, for number one, because they keep me grounded. My managers. It's hard to find somebody that believes in you and invests in you just as much as you invest in yourself. And I know I have the right team. My other manager, she prays with me. That's my personal manager. This is my business manager. They keep me grounded, and we have a great working relationship. So I have to give shout out to them off the dome. God, for number one. He keeps me wanting this passion for I have been doing this since I was 12 years old, and I keep on. This is the only thing probably in my life that I never gave up on. So I'm gonna keep him first, and I know that He's gonna guide me to the right places. You might just be hearing me sing a couple of gospel songs, in the future. Shout out to K-Chill, Street Related ENT. Let me see. I don't want to forget anybody. That's pretty much it, to be honest. Shout out to everybody who's supporting me, because I know who got my back and who don't have my back. So,
We have a lot of young producers and artists that tune into the show, participate in Champion Sound, and follow Rules of Culture. You have any advice you can give somebody who's coming up in this business? What's the best piece of advice you can give them to be successful?
Learn the business. Be persistent and consistent, and have passion. If you don't have passion you ever notice there's some singers or rappers, they come around, you hear one song from them, and then it's like 10 years later you never hear nothing else from them. You know why? Because they jumped in this game and they thought this game was easy and it was gonna bring them all this fame and fortune, and it's not like that, baby. If you're in this game for the money, you need to find you another game to get into, because we all are struggling artists. We really are, but you have to have passion and dedication, and it's gonna pay off. Just stay focused. Do not surround yourself with people who are doing worse than you.
Great piece of advice from G.Lynn, Geraldine Trinity. I want to thank y'all for joining me today. This is your boy, MC Docsta. You are listening to Rules of Culture presents The Weigh-In.
Amen.